Welcome back to the Sports Desk Live. All right, I'm your man one more time, Desert L. Hicks Jr. And no, I did not commit treason. I'm not going to do what you're expecting me to do. I'm going to stay loyal the best way that I can. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. All right.
Listen, I'm Mr. Mood'em Change. We both in the same boat. I have actually won a game, but it doesn't matter. I beat a bad team, and I'm not beating nobody else. So I gotta say, PBS Kids on the way. 1st of November. Here we come.
Yes, it is. So welcome back to the Sports Desk Live. We're here to cover week 4 of the college football season. Another great week of college football last weekend. But as the season picks up, you're going to start seeing these fascinating matchups that your granddaddy or your uncles or even your dads never really got to see in their day, because this is a new age of college football, and we're going to touch on some matchups this week that we're going to be getting that normally you wouldn't get unless it was in a bowl game. All right, so we got a few matchups to discuss. I do want to say those who are waiting me to wear, as you can see, I'm wearing a baseball cap today. I still refuse to wear any Florida State gear. Say what you want, say what you mean. It does not matter to me one bit. I just can't celebrate mediocrity. I just can't celebrate delusional at its highest, but more on that later. I'm going to stick with my nose. We were 0-3 losing to Memphis this past a weekend, and we get ready for more ACC play as we welcome the Cal Bears. We're not going to discuss that game here because Florida State is going to lose. But we're just bad. So I know a lot of you are probably watching to see if I'm going to don a new cap. I just decided to wear one of my other hats and not disappoint black. That's the real reason I'm doing this, because of black. That's it. Okay. The rest of y'all, I don't care. Okay. I don't care. Okay. I'm just not trying to disrespect my dog. So I'm going to hold down with my brothers. Black couldn't be here tonight. But I just want to put that out there because some of y'all don't even care what me and Rashad are about to talk about. Y'all just want to see where is D going with his fanhood for the rest of the season. But we're going to hold down. We're going to hold down. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go to Friday night. I love these Friday night games. Last Friday night, It wasn't the best game, but just to set up for Kansas State and Arizona, I was intrigued by, of course, the Wildcats winning that in a big time way. In Big 12 play. But now we're going to go to probably, Rashad, would you say this guy is something like a darling of college football this early in the season? And I'm referring to Dylan Raiola, the really hyped quarterback out of Nebraska. They welcome in the Fighting Illini of the University of Illinois this Friday, 8 o'clock on Fox. Nebraska is a 8.5 point favorite, and this will be their second consecutive home sellout after the Colorado game a few weeks ago. All right. So what do you think about before we talk about the game, Dylan Raiola? Rashad, what are your thoughts on the kid that you've seen so far?
He can play. I just really wish he stopped cosplaying Patrick Mahomes. I think that's kind of weird. But you can have idols, but come on, dude. Let's get your own swag. Let's get your own way to step on the field. Like, understand you got the Patrick Mahomes vibe, but don't make it weird. We good. But the boy can play.
Yeah.
He can play. And he looks really good. They have a really good line. They have weapons. They can run the ball. Matt Rule has this team looking pretty good.
He does.
Both lines of scrimmage. We seen what they did to Deion and them boys.
Yeah.
He couldn't even drop back.
Yeah.
So the team is good. Raiola is really good. He is. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be a future star.
Yeah.
And as long as Matt Rule can continue to put pieces around him, he's gonna be a star.
I agree with you. I think the Patrick Mahomes package, so to speak, that he is really off and running with it. Raiola is 19 years old. He made it very clear he idolized Mahomes. And literally every sense of the way, ever since he laid eyes on him back at Texas Tech. So, but it is one of those things when you look at him, you do say to yourself, does Mahomes got a little illegitimate son running around here that we don't know about? You do think that, or does Mahomes have a little brother or something out here? And And shout out to Mahomes, man. He's really embraced the kid. He embraced his swag. He watches his games. He shouts him out during his games. And just shout out to Mahomes for even doing that. But in a sense, like Rashad is saying, the kid can play. He has swag. He has no fear. Matt Rule has done a fantastic job with a bonfire of a mess that Nebraska was when he took the job. And we talked about it in the college football preview. Do not be surprised if Nebraska wins the Big 12. Do not be surprised if Nebraska has bought a bid for the college football playoff. And dare I say, do not be surprised if this kid just goes on a magical run, a la like Vince Young did back when he was at Texas. That's how I feel about this kid, because the quarterback position is the most important position in all of sports. And if you got a guy that is just dialed in and everything is clicking and everything is working and there's nothing that's a hindrance, special things can happen. And we've seen it, and not only in the college ranks, but also in the National Football League. So Dylan Raiola, we just want to show him a little bit of love, because I would say he is a media darling so far with college football. But let's get into the game. The undefeated Illini coming to town 3-0. They come to Lincoln, Nebraska, undefeated team versus undefeated team. Somebody old must go. Nebraska 8.5-point favorite. Rashad, who's going to win this game?
Nebraska is going to win this game. I just think there'll be too much for the Illini. They beat Kansas last week. Not a great team, but a decent team.
Yep.
But I just think that on both lines of scrimmage, this team has proven that they can play. It'll be in Nebraska, sold out, like you say, 8:00 Fox Friday night. I don't think Illinois is ready for that environment. I think it'll be a blowout. The biggest got it at 8.5 for a reason. I think it'll be 31-10 Nebraska.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I just think I don't know much about Illinois to say that they have enough heart to go into an environment like this. And I think Nebraska could be wearing their black jerseys or something like that I was reading. Don't quote me on that. But Nebraska could be doing something a little fashion-y and flary, and the crowd is going to be buzzing and hype. I mean, the last time that Nebraska was 3-0 in anything, I don't remember. I don't remember. So a Friday night spotlight game, the only college football game on Friday night in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lord have mercy. I mean, it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be a ruckus. Matt Rule, former NFL coach, he is really giving all the jewels and the gems to his team and getting them ready for potentially for a very special magical run in the Big 12. I have a Nebraska big as well. I think Raiola will play sensational. Now, don't get me wrong. Luke Altmaier from Illinois, he's a veteran quarterback. He will be poised. I don't think he'll be rattled by the atmosphere. But I'm going to call it what I call it. I mean, I haven't seen Luke Altmaier do a lot of great things. But I don't expect him to start doing it versus Nebraska. Take the Cornhuskers big here. I'm going to go 45, to 20. 45 to 20. The Cornhuskers roll the Fighting Illini. And hell, the way college football going this year, don't be surprised we're back next week saying we apologize to you, the Fighting Illini. We apologize. All right, up next, what I talked about at the beginning of the show, a sensational matchup, a fabulous matchup. When I see these two teams, all I hear is the great Keith Jackson, the granddaddy of them all, because this is the only time that you have seen this matchup. The Trojans, the 11th ranked Trojans of USC, come into the big house to face the 18th ranked Michigan Wolverines. 5.5-point favorite for USC, who is 2-0. Michigan is 2-1. This is a CBS game at 3:30. Another weird spot for this game. Not used to seeing Big Ten games and big spots on CBS. I'm used to SEC having that, but all the contracts and TV money and all that, you're getting all this stuff on different networks. But back to the game, Rashad, does Michigan take advantage of the opportunity with a brand new starting quarterback this week that they're ushering in at home against the 11th ranked Trojans? Does Michigan salvage their season by knocking off USC?
I think we find out exactly who USC is this week. The first week of the season, we seen what they did against LSU, but then we found out that LSU's defense is not as good as what we thought they were. LSU would have lost this game last week against USC if their starting quarterback didn't get hurt, and their
Right.
secondary is god awful.
Mm-hmm.
So now we get to see exactly. We already knew they were going to be explosive on offense. We knew
Right.
that Lincoln Riley is going to have his offense right. They got a quarterback who stayed for 3 years, sitting there learning the system, and now he's hitting the ground running. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that we didn't know is that their defense was going to be dominant. They actually shut out Utah State last week, which we never would have thought they could have shut out anybody, especially with the way their defense was last year.
Yep.
So they go into the big house. Their coach, Sharon Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he's got to start. What is this dude's name?
He's starting
Alex
Alex Orji.
Orgery.
Yeah, he's starting.
Orji. Listen, he's doing that because he realizes he doesn't have the weapons that he thought at receiver, so they're going to have to run the ball and utilize their lines of scrimmage in order to win games. They're not going to outscore anybody. So they're going to try to play keep away. They're going to try to run the ball with Alex. They're going to try to run the ball with their two dynamic running backs, control the line of scrimmage, shorten the game, and see if they can force USC into mistakes by going on 12, 13, 14 play drives throughout this game. Listen, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. The line's at 5.5. I don't think they're going to be able to win this game, though. I don't. I'm picking USC to win this game 28-21.
Yeah, it's just, can Michigan turn this into a power run game? Can they control the time of possession? Making a switch at quarterback, who it's going to help because Alex is a lot more athletic. He can get on the corners of the defense and try to get upfield with his legs. I know that the passing game is not nothing that is going to be probably a threat for the Trojans, but it's going to have to be power running. Mullins and Edwards, the backs for Michigan, they are going to have to not turn the ball over, have to get yards in bunches, and they're going to have to keep UFC just off of the field. That's the only way. Control the clock, score when you can score. The defense is going to have a couple of turnovers, because if that doesn't happen, I think USC in September going to the big house, perfect weather, they're not dealing with nothing out of control here. I think the schedule makers did them a favor. From a LA team headed to Michigan in September, it's not a bad deal. They could have sent them there like they're going to do Oregon. Oregon got to go to the big house in December or something, in November or something like that. But I think USC wins this game. I do think it's closer than the experts think. I do think USC will get out of there 28-24. I just think Sharon Moore will have this team fighting for its lives. I like Sharon Moore. He inherited a pretty tough situation when Harbaugh leaving and all the talent that left with Harbaugh. But it's Michigan. No one's going to feel sorry for Michigan. Just like no one's feel sorry for Florida State. No one's feeling sorry for Florida. No one's feeling sorry for these blue-collar, blue-blood universities. But I think Michigan will fight. I think they will fight, but I think they will lose 28-24. USC gets the win, but I do think Michigan definitely makes some people some money with that plus 5.5 spread. I think they will get that, keep that intact for sure. USC wins the game 28-24. 28-24. All right. Up next, what we got on the slate here? We have, hold on now. We had a little malfunction. My apologies. We still have a malfunction here. All right, here we go. So next game on the slate, we have Tennessee, the 6th-ranked Volunteers against the 15th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, 3-0 versus 3-0. This is a big-time SEC matchup. That is wild even saying that, with Oklahoma being one of the newest members of the ACC. Tennessee is a 7-point favorite. This is your spotlight game of the weekend. 7:30 kick, ABC. Herbstreit and Fowler will be calling this game. Rashad, what are we thinking? Oklahoma's debut big-time matchup in the SEC. Do the Sooners come calling for the Vols, or do the Vols just get it done?
I think they welcome Oklahoma to SEC football in a bad way.
Okay.
I think Tennessee is really, really good. Josh Heupel is a good coach. He's been building this program. He's had good quarterback after good quarterback. They have receivers. They have running backs. They have the best defensive end in the country. I mean, Tennessee is one of the best teams in the country. They haven't played anybody yet. This will be their first test, but I don't think it'll be a test at all. Last week, Oklahoma played Tulsa. Tulane. They played Tulane, and the score in the fourth quarter was 19-21.
Yeah,
19-24.
It was close.
And then they pulled away, and it was 34-19. But this is one of the best teams in the country coming into your stadium, and you can barely beat Tulane. You struggling with this team, and this is one of the best teams in the country. And I think Tennessee knows that they're one of the best teams in the country. I think they want to make a statement, especially on the road. What do they had a game on at the line on this game, D? I think it's 7 points, right?
It's 7 points for Tennessee.
Is it 7 or 10?
7 points for Tennessee.
7 points. Yeah. They cover 34-17. This won't be a game throughout the game. I think that they, like I said, they welcome Oklahoma to SEC play. I think they're poised to be one of the best teams in the country, and I think they start showing that this week.
I really love Nico from Tennessee.
Yes.
I love
Nico's
Nico.
A really good quarterback.
Josh Heupel. I'm not even going to attempt to try to say Nico's last name.
No.
But Josh Heupel and what he's done with Tennessee, you could tell just the pieces are now in place. The recruiting, this quarterback, this kid is sensational, man. He's sensational, and he's dynamic on the field. The running game for Tennessee is strong. They have athletes on the outside. The defensive front seven is very disruptive. I just think Oklahoma is going to, I think Tennessee is going to bring the buzzsaw to Oklahoma because they're going to Norman. I think this game is a little bit close in the first half, but I think in the second half, the talent, the speed, no disrespect to Brent Venables, head coach from Oklahoma, because he's a really good football coach, really good defensive mind. He's been for a long time. I just think in college, better offense always beats good defense.
Right.
It seems to be that way. Occasionally, you might get a shutdown defense to kind of make a run at a title, but then that they get clipped by an offensive team. And that's what's going to happen here. Tennessee wins 35-20. I think Tennessee runs away with it late. I think Nico will shine, and he will start that Heisman talk with a big win on the road in SEC play, which is wild, against the Oklahoma Sooners. So Tennessee wins this game. I think they definitely cover the spread here for sure. All right, moving along to a unique and intriguing matchup. We talked about Kansas State last week on the show, but they will be making a very interesting trip, all right, to Brigham Young University on a late Saturday night kick, 11 p.m. on ESPN. Kansas State, BYU, 3-0 versus 3-0. The real reason I love talking about this kid, Avery Johnson. But BYU is a sneaky good team that is under the radar that nobody is having a conversation about except me and Rashad right here on the Sports Desk Live. So, Rashad, what are we thinking? Kansas State, BYU, late night kick on a Saturday night. What's going to go down here, man?
Hey, man, listen, if you can stay up from all the college football that you done watched, I think you go get a treat. Avery Johnson is the real deal. We seen him last week.
Yes.
And he really put on a show last week.
Yes.
He put on a show.
Yes.
I don't know much about
Retzlaff.
What'd you say?
Retzlaff.
Right.
Quarterback for BYU.
Right. I don't know much about BYU. But I do know what I seen out of Kansas State last week, and that kid and that offense, I liked it. So I'll pick BYU. I don't know what the line is in this game.
You're gonna pick BYU to get the win?
No. I said I'm picking Kansas State.
Oh, 6.5 Kansas State.
6.5, yeah. Kansas State to cover. Kansas State to cover.
On the road?
They'll cover on the road. Hey, listen, I have no idea what BYU got going on, but I know what I seen last week out of Avery Johnson. I do know that. So
I feel you.
I'm gonna pick them to cover on the road. Let's say 24-17.
Okay. Now BYU brings an interesting offense to the table versus Kansas State on Friday night. This is a power running team. Ritzloff, I know I'm butchering his name, quarterback. Not only is he's like the dual threat. You know, so far this season he has 24 rushes for 113 total yards. So he's averaging around 45 to 50 yards rushing. Total offense this year. He is one of the top in the country with 154 passer rating, which is very, very, very high in college football. So you're going to get this interesting matchup of Kansas State going up to that thick, what do they call it, mountain air, high altitude is what they're going to be dealing with up there and at Brigham Young. And I just think it's going to be an interesting matchup for Kansas State that I think they're going to be tested and really push to the limit here versus BYU. But I'm going to take the Wildcats in a close one. I'm going to go lower scoring game here. I really, really like Avery Johnson. That is a nice quarterback. I like his swag. I just like how he goes about his business. And being a young quarterback, you can see that team is really rallying around him, especially how they bludgeoned Arizona last week, which I thought was going to be a pretty good game, and it was not. It was the Avery Johnson show. So going to take Kansas State here. I'm going to take them 16-14. Late second field goal, because when those teams go up to that altitude, it is tough. We see it in basketball, in football. If you ain't from that, that's like people who come down here and play in the heat. Like when Utah came down here and played Florida that year, a couple years back. Utah, yeah, they come from that L, but they ain't used to this humidity. They ain't used to that heat, and it took a toll in the second half of that game versus Florida. Where Florida was ultimately able to get the win there. But I'm gonna take Kansas State. Close game to get the win. Wildcats move on to 4-0 in a very interesting matchup in the Big 12. Okay, all right, let's move on. Oh, okay, so here we go. Here's a part of the show right here. Now, for the life of me, Florida State, Cal, 7 o'clock, ESPN2. Jesus. Florida State is 0-3. Cal is 3-0. But somehow, the Florida State Seminoles are a 2.5-point favorite at home, welcoming in Cal Berkeley University, the Golden Bears. Rashad, I'm going to start here. Florida State will lose. We will go 0-4. Again, I'm watching this game against Memphis last week, which was I'm more upset about the Memphis game than I am the Georgia Tech game, and that I was about the Boston College game. This is Memphis, no disrespect. You paid this school to play them at home. They come here and they absolutely embarrass the program and laugh at their former head coach, the Reverend Mike Norvell. This is embarrassing in Tallahassee, man. Now, for granted, to keep it a buck, like I said before, I knew we weren't the top 10 team coming into the season. They gave us some respect because of the whole melee about not making the playoff and going undefeated last year. Okay, whatever. Michigan wasn't a top 10 team either, but they let them be that, so I get it. But we not a top 10 team. We're not a top 25 team. We're not a top 50 team. We are bad. The quarterback play is abysmal and atrocious. It's going to show again until Mike Norvell says, you know what, man, we've just seen enough, DJ. We know we gave you $1 million to come here on NIL money, but we got to throw this kid Brock Glenn out there who can actually drop back and read a defense and complete a pass up the field. Mike Norvell, when are you going to make that decision? DJ Uiagalelei has been the quarterback for Florida State for 3 weeks now. And there's nothing about him that looks promising. But you're going to put us through that again? Why? We're at home. After this, we go on the road. And Lord knows we don't get back to Doak until the end of October. Ooh. So it's going to be rough. Ooh. So Florida State's going to lose this game because of one reason and one reason only. DJ Uiagalelei. I'm not disrespecting him and being disrespectful on purpose. I just can't pronounce his name. But DJ's my quarterback. That's why we're going to lose. Now, if some breaking news happens and Brock Glenn is announced, I will get on my horse and I will be delusional as ever. And I will say, go Noles or Brock Glenn. I will do it. But I have nothing to cheer for. Florida State loses 0-4. They lose at home 35-20. Cal Bears destroy Florida State.
Brock Glenn is not going to win you a football game, D.
I don't care.
Problem is yours.
Listen, I don't care.
I got you. At least you'll watch. I got you. I understand. It's the same thing like I feel about Mertz at this point. I just want to play the kid. But your problem is that you paid a boatload of money for your defensive line to be the worst defensive line in the country.
Yeah.
Followed by the Gators.
Yeah.
The two worst defensive lines in the country.
Sure.
That's why you're going to lose.
Sure.
Kyle just played Auburn and dominated Auburn.
Yeah, they did.
SEC school.
They did.
So if they're coming in dominating an SEC school, that is not very good right now, but still a recruiting grounds of an SEC school coming all the way from California to Auburn to whoop on them. Then they got to go back to California and then come even more east to play FSU.
Mm-hmm.
They probably never thought they'd be in this situation. Undefeated team, only allowing like 6 yards of reception right now.
Yeah.
Defense playing outstanding. Offense playing good. FSU doesn't have a chance in this game because Kyle's probably a better team than them right now.
Probably they are.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Give me Kyle in a blowout, 31-10. A blowout. And the reason why it'll be a blowout is because they're still paying DJU and they're not going to sit him, D. They paying him. They not going to sit him. So that's going to be your quarterback for the rest of the season because they paying for him. It's sad, but that's what it is.
Moving forward. Okay. Now, next week, I can't guarantee you, and Black, if you're watching, I cannot guarantee you that I will not take this hat that I have on this table right here
Boy.
and put it on my head. That's right, folks. The hat is here. It's here. But I cannot guarantee you that I will not put that hat on my head next week.
Oh, my goodness.
So stay tuned. Okay.
Oh,
all right, let's close it out, baby. We got the 1-2 Florida Gators going to Mississippi State against the 1-2 Mississippi State Bulldogs. Florida is a 6-point favorite on the road. Shad, I don't really care about
what? I didn't even know
favorite, that. 6-point favorite on the road. Shad, I really don't care about this game. This is just your chance to speak on what you think is going to take place. I'm gonna just go and say I like Florida to win this game 3-0. Go ahead.
And we can close out the show. Hey, thank y'all for watching the Sports Desk Live. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like the channel. Make sure y'all tell a friend that it's some boys down here in Duval County really trying to push forward the genre of sports talk on YouTube. We're not doing this. This team's sorry. I don't even know if they can score 6 points at this point. The Bull Gators have collected the money to go ahead and fire Billy Napier. The money is collected. Okay. Now the only person that don't want to fire this man is Scott Strickland. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna get fired too. So we're gonna fire both of them together after he go and lose this game to Mississippi State. Yeah. That's sorry as I don't know what. Mississippi State might be worse than Florida, but Florida can't win a game.
They sorry.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So give me the Bulldogs. I'm
my God.
praying the Bulldogs win this game. Because if the Bulldogs win this game, Billy Napier is going to pop up on my phone. They going to make him walk back to Gainesville. Thank you, Jesus. That's what I want. So give me the Bulldogs in a blowout. 52-0. That's what I want. I want it to be a real ass whooping. I want it to be no doubt. No doubt.
Okay.
Because when that happens, that means the kids don't care anymore. That means there's no hope in the program. Now
Sure.
I can go get me a real coach.
Okay.
A real coach.
All
And
right.
I'm going right there, the Ole Miss. And I'm going to say, I know you in a relationship, baby, but I like what I see and I want to pay for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to
Okay.
do. 52-0 Bulldogs. Please, Jesus, please.
Okay. There we have it. There we have it, man. So appreciate y'all for watching yet again as we cover week 4 of the college football season. We'll see how our predictions and everything weigh out with the games this weekend. We're looking forward to that USC and Michigan matchup just to see the pageantry out there in the big house with USC coming to town. So y'all leave some comments below, man. If y'all disagree or agree or something that we had to say, let us know, man. Chop it up with us down below in the comments. Definitely appreciate all the love and support. Thank y'all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We definitely appreciate everything as we continue to grow this sports channel. All right. So till next time, y'all be cool. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the weekend. And we'll see y'all next week covering week 5 of the college football season. Peace, y'all.
Go Gators, 5 Billy Napier.